Welcome back everybody to Veve Gems, where you get periodic videos on top quality NFTs on the Veve app, which I call Veve Gems. Today, I will show you the top 10 undervalued comics on Veve along with the portfolio tracker and Veve stats for week number 9. And this is not financial advice. For those of you interested in more details and the key assumptions and the methodology used in arriving to these top 10 undervalued comics on Veve, you can always check my video on July 30th, 2022, where you can see all of these details. This table shows the cost in gems per MCP point. So the darker the green shade, the better the value. We can see good value in the rare variant of Groot first appearance, as well as Nick Fury first appearance, the rare variant, and also the rare variant of Fantastic Four number 12 and the rare variant of Avengers number 4. So these are all good values in terms of gems per MCP point. This table compares the supply still available on the market for the top 10 undervalued comics. So in general, the lower the percentage, the higher the demand for these comics, which means these prices could be supported for the medium term. Now for comics that have been recently dropped, such as Amazing Fantasy number 15 and Tales to Astonish number 13, we can see relatively higher supply compared to the other comics on the list. And obviously the key reason is these haven't been fully absorbed by the market, so this could be considered also an opportunity before the remaining supply for these two comics gets absorbed. This table shows the percentage upside potential for the top 10 undervalued comics. And in general, any percentage that is 300% and above is considered a good value with a good potential appreciation. And we can see those under the uncommon, rare, and the ultra rare variants. For those interested in the secret rare variant, there's 6 on the list that have positive upside potential. And these are Amazing Spider-Man number 1, with 49% upside potential for the secret rare. Then we've got Groot first appearance and Avengers number 4, Fantastic Four number 12, Sergeant Fury, and Fantastic Four number 1. This table shows the current prices of the comics on the top 10 undervalued comics list. So as a general rule, the darker the green shade, the better the value, and of course the better the price. And this is just to give you some perspective of the prices of the top 10 undervalued comics relative to each other on the list. This table shows the total editions minted for these top 10 comics on the list. If we look at the last column, we see the total editions, and looking at the first column, we see the number of editions under the common variant. Then the next column, the number of editions for the uncommon variant, then the rare, ultra rare, and secret rare. The factors on the right side of the table show you how rare is that variant compared to the common variant. So looking at number 1, Marvel Comics number 1, the uncommon is 8 times more rare than the common. In other words, there is 8 commons for each one uncommon, and there are 16 commons for each rare. There is 20 commons for each ultra rare and 80 commons for each secret rare. So this table will give you some perspective of how rare each variant is compared to the common mint size. This table shows this week's addition to the investor's portfolio. So we have the top 10 comics ranked and the variance of those comics as well as the prices of these comics today. And at the bottom we have the total amount invested for this week's investors portfolio. This table shows the addition to the collector's portfolio for the week. However, unlike the investor's portfolio in which we do the dollar cost averaging strategy, in the collector's portfolio we only add the new comics that make it to the top 10 list. And since there's no new comics that made it to the top 10 list for this week, there is no addition to the collector's portfolio. This table shows the price performance of the investor's portfolio that was selected last week. So on September 17, we have invested 799.65 gems. The value of these comics today is 739.91 gems, so that's a total decrease of 59.74 gems, or a loss of 7.5%. If we look at the details, the biggest weight is coming from number 2 on the list, which is Amazing Fantasy number 15, which has lost 56 gems, and that's partly due to that comic being recently dropped and not fully absorbed by the market, and it's expected to stabilize at some point in the future. As there was no addition to the collector portfolio last week, there is no change in this table. This table shows the cumulative performance for both the investors and the collectors portfolios. So for the last 8 weeks, we have lost 1,394.9 gems, or a negative 21.5% for the investors portfolio. And as we know, in the investors portfolio, we keep investing every week in the top 10 undervalued comics on the list, and that is reflected under the addition column. For the collector's portfolio, we have lost 649.53 gems so far for the first 8 weeks since we started tracking, and that's a negative 38.4%. So in general, from the percentage change on a cumulative basis, we can see that the investor's portfolio is outperforming the collector's portfolio. This table shows the weekly Veve social media stats. We have lost 233 followers on Twitter for the last week, which is not a good sign. There's no change in Discord followers. We have gained 16 new members on Facebook and lost 371 followers on Instagram. So looking at this table, and specifically at Instagram, we have been consistently losing a lot of followers every week, which is not a very good sign. And this is understandable because of the general recession we are experiencing right now and the general negative market sentiment. This table shows the weekly Veve Immutascan stats on the blockchain. So for the week, which is week number 9, we have minted 18,049 new tokens. That's a 0.25% increase week over week. And we can see that 0.25% in a dark green shade, which is a relatively good sign. That means Veve is not minting excessively as it used to do in the previous weeks, and that's why you have a dark green shade for that 0.25%. Moving on to the owners, or the unique owners, we have added only 111 new unique owners for the week, and that's a 0.02% increase, and it's one of the slowest weeks in terms of adding new unique owners. That's why you see the 0.02% increase in a dark red shade. And then finally, looking at the TMO ratio, which is the tokens minted to unique owners ratio, it went up from 11.15 to 11.18. In other words, currently we have 11.18 NFTs or tokens per unique owner. and that represents a 0.23% increase for the week. So looking at the total column above, over the last 9 weeks, Veve has minted 280,379 new tokens, and that's a 4.03% increase, while at the same time Veve added 3,426 new unique owners, which is only 0.53% increase. So obviously from these numbers over the last 8 weeks, we can derive that the new unique owners are not keeping up with the tokens minted, which will be reflected in the values of your collectibles in the short to medium term, and that could indicate a sideways to downward movement in values. Here is a snapshot of my collection on the Veve app. You are welcome to follow me on the app by searching the Avengers logo edition number 100. It is under the Disney Golden Moments brand. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. As you see in my previous videos, I always respond to each and every question. If you got value out of this video, hit the like and subscribe button so that you can keep informed every week when I post updates. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.